Welcome back, everybody. We are this week at Missing Falls Brewery in Akron, Ohio. We're doing a menu mayhem thanks to a menu submitted by one of you. Let's dig in. This is our first brewery, and they are definitely a little different than other types of restaurants because the food is not the focus. The beer is the focus, and the food serves that. So let's see how well that they can kind of convey that concept. Let's start right away. The overall design to me screams afterthought. It doesn't look like there was any love put into this menu design. Now, the food itself, maybe, but the menu, certainly not. We have no spacing whatsoever. Let me get my pen. Signature, pen, thank you. We have no spacing whatsoever. Here's a new section. Here's a new section. Here's a new section, subsection? No, a new section. But again, we have no spacing between these whatsoever. We just have the size of the text to go off of to know that we are in a new space. Extremely hard to read. Let's look into the individual sections. Starters, pretty typical bar food. Onion rings, mozzarella, mac and cheese bites, fried green beans, okay. Different types of fries. Fries topped with beer, cheese, bacon, and ranch. All of the fries? If I order French fries and not loaded fries? Oh, no. Okay, I see. So what we have here is this description is the only description in the entire starters section. And what that does, even to me, someone who has reviewed hundreds of menus professionally, is make me think that this description is for the entire section, when in reality it's meant only for the loaded fries section. So we have loaded fries, which means fries topped with beer, cheese, bacon, and ranch. Another thing that makes me feel like this description is for this entire section is the fact that it's centered. Now, everything on the menu is centered, which is a problem because we're not using centering here as a tool. We're not using it as a way to communicate things. We're just slapping it all the way down the menu and hoping people can kind of figure it out. So, dish choice, fine. Prices look great, honestly. This description being the way it is. Oh, I see pretzels also. It belongs in the starter section. And this also comes with the description. So the way that this is broken up really makes me as the reader kind of stop reading here for the starter section, and then this kind of hangs out on its own. Much better, obviously, would be to kind of left justify all of these things, give even a little bit of description all the way down, because this is the beginning of our menu. So we have to set the tone here for what the rest of the menu is going to look like. A customer doesn't know how your menu's been designed, so you have to demonstrate that from the beginning. The way we're going to do it is we're going to have a all caps larger text for the heading. Cool. We're going to use this bold semi-italic font for the name of the dish, and then underneath we are going to use this more lightweight typeface for the description. But we haven't demonstrated that. We have this list, and then we introduce way at the end of this that trend. So difficult to read, not great. Let's move on. Quesadillas is its own section, I guess. Let's take a look at the rest of the menu here quick. Place your bets now to see if we have a second Mexican dish anywhere. Here we have a Cuban sandwich of some kind, it looks like. And no, we have no other Mexican dish. So we are... So first of all, quesadillas can't be its own section. There's only one thing in it. Several different kinds of quesadilla. This should be, and I actually would not be surprised to find out it was meant to be part of the starters menu. It kind of sitting out here on its own is a real design no-no. If you find yourself with a heading that has only one item under it, reconsider whether that thing needs to be on your menu at all. And if it must, then place it. For me, I would say this doesn't need to be on the menu. We are in a Mexican restaurant. Quesadillas aren't enough of a staple in the brewery space that it is a must include, like pretzels are. Maybe if we were in Texas or somewhere in the Southwest, this would be a little bit easier to include. But in Akron, Ohio, I say it's an easy cut. Salads. I think a brewery having salads is nice. Breweries often lean too heavy into fried foods to the point where people who aren't interested in that feel like they can't go at all. It is interesting to me, though, that we only have tossed salad as whole and side. Everything else must come only as a full meal portion. Since we are kind of establishing early on that we're breaking things into whole inside, this is kind of what we're doing. Let's continue it here. Splitting up the protein really shouldn't be a problem, I would think. Yeah, seems like a weird incongruity. Prices are fine, including the dressings here is okay, but it needs to, again, be visually separated. Because the way this is built now, we have this font in the bold, and it tells us this is another dish, here's 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 another dish. Nope, sorry. Dressings is not a dish, even though it is coded like one. This is just a list of the dressings. So, again, difficult to read. Digging into onion, tomato, black olives, cheese, chicken, bacon, egg, avocado, blue cheese. In reviewing the James Beard State of the State of Independent Restaurants industry report recently, they opened with this banger of a quote that I kind of harped on in my blog post about it, which is that we want to be serving things that people can't make at home. For a bar, that might be a little bit of a tall order, but we at least want to be taking things to a level above what people would be comfortable doing at home, and certainly would be comfortable doing at home on a weekday. This whole list of salads, it doesn't have an ingredient that I couldn't find in one or two aisles at every grocery store in Akron, Ohio. I've been to Akron, Ohio. I'm telling you, all of this stuff is everywhere. Why would I come to a brewery and pay $10 for this or $13 for this? It's because I couldn't find anything else to eat here and my friends wanted to eat here. Not because I'm interested in it, not because I'm excited about it. This is adding no value to me as a customer, except it's giving me something to eat that's not a fried thing. That's a terrible value proposition for a restaurant. This is not an offering that I'm going to tell people about later. I'm never going to be like, oh, the Cobb salad, it was so good. Like, no, this is basic. This needs to be elevated. Reduce it. Do whatever you have to do. Take it up a notch. Wings. Wings are relatively standard in this space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 flavors of wings is a lot, especially for a place that is not focused on their food, which is what I'm getting from the rest of this. I'm going to assume that most of these, if not all of them, are bottled sauces. Barbecue almost certainly is. And then I would bet that things like Rick Vaughn here, Sriracha Ranch, are house-made sauces in that they are two of these sauces mixed together. Again, why serve wings if you're not going to bother? Now, maybe I'm overstepping here and these are all wonderful house-made sauces, but I would advertise that. I'd put that these are house-made sauces, and I would get a little bit more inventive with these, and it would be a bigger part of my menu. If I was putting the work in to develop this many sauces, it would be a bigger part of my menu. It wouldn't be stuck between chicken tenders and Salads, chicken tenders is its own section. Quesadillas is its own section. Chicken tenders is its own section. This is a menu designed by my 8-year-old. We need a whole section for quesadillas and we need a whole section for salads. Sorry, we need a whole section for quesadillas and we need a whole section for chicken tenders. By the way, I just noticed quesadillas, not all caps. So maybe it's not meant to be its own section. Chicken tenders, though, all caps, unmistakable. Your choice of sauce. What sauce? These sauces? How do I know? 5 for $13. These better be incredible chicken tenders. Again, though, I have no way of knowing. I have no description. Hand breaded, fried. I don't know. I need golden fried. I need some descriptor, well seasoned, that tells me what these are. Otherwise, I'm assuming these are frozen. Is that unfair? Maybe, but it's all your menu's giving me to work with. Moving into pizza, I feel like breweries do often do the flatbread thing. But that's not what we've done here. If you remember in the Melfi's video talking about pizza, that was a full-fledged Italian restaurant. And something I pointed out there was they weren't specializing in pizza and they didn't feel the need to devolve into a pizzeria. They chose a few specialty pizzas that they put on their menu that complemented their menu, and they went forward with it. This place, what's this place called? Sorry, Missing Falls, has fallen completely into this trap. They have one creatively named pizza. Sorry, a few. You know what they do? A few creatively named pizzas. I'll give them that. And they've decided, well, we're already offering a few specialty pizzas. Let's just dive into being a pizzeria. We're gonna have some really basic stuff: cheeseburger pizza, a white pizza deluxe, which you can get anywhere, Boss Hoss, which is just a meat lover's pizza, a chicken bacon ranch. So this is something else that gets under my skin. If you are going to give your stuff creative names, I'm all for it. We have good ranch. Kind of funny. This is just a chicken bacon ranch pizza. You can get this at every pizza shop ever. This is an established dish. You can't just take an established dish, give it a different name, and pretend like it's a creative invention. You have to actually contribute to the art to give the naming. And then we go down here, and this is where we really fully devolve into becoming a pizzeria. We just have a giant list of toppings. We have different crusts. And, you can add things from the salad dressing and wing sauces down here. This is just, I admire the attempt to be reusing ingredients. It's always good to be applying these ingredients across your menu so that you're not buying a whole category of item just for a single dish. But this is not the way to do it. Let's move on. Sandwich and wraps. Obviously, this is, I would say, the secondary thing you would want when it comes to food at a brewery. One, you want to have this bar food locked down, and then you want to move into sandwiches. Keep things handheld, keep it casual. Akron cheesesteak stands out to me immediately. I've been to Akron. I'm from Cleveland, so I have a decent proximity. Never heard of Akron cheesesteak being a thing. And reading here, chicken or steak, provolone, sauteed mushrooms, onions, garlic, aioli. With the exception of peppers, this sounds suspiciously like a Philly cheesesteak to me. What is making it Akron? Again, we're renaming without contributing to the art. Bacon, lettuce, avocado, tomato, the Hitman. So everything that's Italian is getting a mafia adjacent name, I guess. Is that in line with the theme of the place? I'm going to say no. Sergeant wet lemon pepper sauce from the wings. I think we get it. This whole menu is just really uninspired. I think they built a brewery. I think they came up with a beer list. I think that they're probably decently creative with it. Ohio is a really saturated market for microbreweries, so staying relevant in that environment is no easy task. So the beer is probably good enough. The food is not there to support it. The food is there as an afterthought. The food is a random hodgepodge of low efforts, uninspired dishes that get a little salt into your customers so that they order some more beer. A brewery or a winery or anywhere that's drinks first, that takes the food seriously, will have one thing on the menu. They'll all have this one thing. Think about it for a second. They will all have pairings on the menu. Even if your beer list is changing relatively frequently, you can suggest styles that go along with this. Also, if your beer list is changing that frequently, there's no reason to not reprint the menu to go along with the beer list. These are the beers we have on tap. If you're ordering, God, I want to do some pairings, but this food is so... If you're doing a slow roasted pork, maybe consider our Mexican lager, right? If you're doing a French dip, maybe consider, I don't know. I'm not good at beer pairings, but the point is the beer is the main thing. Use the food to support it. Use the food to keep people around so they don't have to leave to go get dinner, or make sure they eat before they come to your place. The prices, I think, indicate to me that they are a bit of a loss leader. These prices are pretty low. Maybe they're not losing money on them, but clearly it's not where they're making their money. The beer is where they make their money. So let it support. You want to put the food menu in a support role? That's great. I have no problem with that, because what you've done is you said you've built a purpose for your menu, which is something that a lot of restaurants lack. Our menu is to support our beer. Great. Great, great, great. Let it do it. Where's the pairings? Why is there no, let me see here. Okay, so we have beer cheese on the fries. I feel like beer cheese should be much more prevalent. I want to see beer steamed brats. I want to see beer battered chicken tenders or beer battered fish. I want to see maybe some wing sauce flavors inspired by different beer styles. I'm seeing none of that here. This menu could go to any diner anywhere and it would be fine. It doesn't belong to this brewery. There's nothing interesting about it. I think that they would do well with a whole menu redesign, but I don't think they would, because frankly I don't think they care, and I've not been, but I would have to assume that's reflected in their food. I would expect to see very low levels of seasoning on everything. I would expect to see slapdash preparation. I would expect just a really underwhelming experience that's designed to make you thirsty for your next beer. Having a strong theme like brewery is a great opportunity to build your menu around. It tells you what to do. You have the template set, brewery. The beer is the leader. Build around that. They've completely ignored that strength and made this slapdash, confused menu that all I can say is it's an afterthought. The menu design is an afterthought. This was thrown together in Microsoft Word in 25 minutes. The dishes are afterthoughts. There's not a single thing on here that somebody who has even an ounce of cooking skill couldn't make at home, and quickly and easily. It's a real disappointment. because I love breweries. I love beer. I love this style of food, and it's so easy to elevate it, and it's so good when it's done right. But when it's done poorly, I mean, it looks like this. Anyway, that's all for this week's episode of Menu Mayhem. If you have a menu that you want to see on the show, go ahead and submit it to chris@freshperspective.com. The email address is down below. Hope to hear from you guys, and we'll see you in the next one. See ya.